Hi, friends. Welcome back to English with Lisa, the channel where we make learning English fun, easy, and exciting. I'm Lisa, and today we're exploring all the words you need to talk about feelings and emotions in English. Whether you want to describe love, happiness, fear, excitement, or pride, this lesson will help you speak English confidently and naturally. So grab a notebook, get ready to learn, and let's jump right in.
Hey everyone, I'm Jay, and I'll be learning right along with you. Don't worry if you forget a word. We'll explain everything step by step and give simple examples you can use every day.
That's right. By the end of this video, you'll know 100 emotions words and how to use them naturally in English conversations. Let's get started. Hi, Jay. Welcome to our first section. Today, we're exploring love and affection emotions. These are feelings we have for people, pets, or things we care about deeply.
Yes, Lisa, learning these words helps learners describe their feelings for family, friends, or things they love in English.
The first word is love, which is a strong feeling of deep care and attachment.
For example, I felt love for my parents, and she felt love when holding her baby. Love is strong and warm and can be for people, pets, or even hobbies.
Next is affection, which is a gentle feeling of love or care towards someone.
For example, I felt affection hugging my friend, and he felt affection petting his dog. Affection is often shown through small actions or words.
Another word is fondness, which is a liking or warm feeling towards someone or something.
For example, I felt fondness for my old teacher, and she felt fondness for her favorite book. Fondness is softer than love, but still warm.
Let's talk about adoration, which is a very strong feeling of love and admiration.
For example, he felt adoration watching his baby sleep, and I felt adoration for my best friend. Adoration combines love with respect and admiration.
Another emotion is tenderness, which is a gentle, kind, and loving feeling.
For example, I felt tenderness holding the small puppy, and she felt tenderness helping her sick friend. Tenderness often comes with care and softness.
Now we have warmth, which is a feeling of kindness, friendliness, or love.
For example, I felt warmth from my family's support, and she felt warmth seeing her friend smile. Warmth makes people feel safe and welcome.
Another word is attachment, which is a strong connection or bond to someone or something.
For example, I felt attachment to my childhood home, and he felt attachment to his pet cat. Attachment often creates care and loyalty.
Let's also talk about caring, which is a feeling of wanting to help or protect someone.
For example, I felt caring helping my neighbor with groceries, and she felt caring making tea for her sick brother. Caring shows concern and kindness.
Another emotion is devotion, which is a strong love or loyalty to someone or something.
For example, he felt devotion to his parents, and I felt devotion practicing my music every day. Devotion is long-term care and commitment.
Finally, we have compassion, which is a feeling of sympathy and concern for others suffering.
For example, I felt compassion helping the injured bird, and she felt compassion comforting her sad friend. Compassion combines love with understanding and action.
Love and affection emotions are important because they help learners describe care, connection, and warmth naturally in English.
Yes, Lisa, using these words makes it easier to explain feelings toward people, pets, or things we care about deeply.
Let's quickly review the words we covered: love, affection, fondness, adoration, tenderness, warmth, attachment, caring, devotion, and compassion.
That's right. Remembering these 10 love and affection emotions will help learners describe feelings of care and warmth clearly.
Hi, Jay. Let's explore excitement and enthusiasm emotions. These are feelings we get when something fun, interesting, or important is about to happen.
Yes, Lisa. Learning these words helps learners describe happy anticipation or energetic feelings clearly in English.
The first word is excitement, which is a feeling of being very happy and eager about something.
For example, I felt excitement before my birthday party, and she felt excitement opening her gift. Excitement usually comes with energy and anticipation.
Next is enthusiasm, which is a strong interest and eagerness to do something.
For example, I felt enthusiasm starting a new hobby, and he felt enthusiasm helping his team. Enthusiasm shows strong motivation and positive energy.
Another word is thrill, which is a sudden, exciting feeling of joy or surprise.
For example, I felt thrill riding the roller coaster, and she felt thrill watching the fireworks. Thrill is usually sudden and intense.
Let's talk about eagerness, which is a strong desire to do something or see something happen.
For example, I felt eagerness waiting for my friend to arrive, and he felt eagerness starting his new class. Eagerness shows impatience mixed with happiness.
Another emotion is anticipation, which is looking forward to something positively in the future.
For example, I felt anticipation before the holiday trip, and she felt anticipation waiting for the movie to start. Anticipation makes us excited and hopeful.
Now we have joyfulness, which is a cheerful and happy feeling often mixed with excitement.
For example, I felt joyfulness playing with my puppy, and she felt joyfulness at the festival. Joyfulness is lighter than thrill, but still very positive.
Another word is exhilaration, which is a feeling of extreme happiness and energy.
For example, I felt exhilaration running in the park, and he felt exhilaration winning the race. Exhilaration often comes with physical energy or movement.
Let's also talk about delight, which is a feeling of happiness and pleasure in something.
For example, I felt delight tasting the chocolate cake, and she felt delight seeing her friend succeed. Delight is often about enjoyment of small or special moments.
Another emotion is energy, which is the feeling of being active, alive, and motivated.
For example, I felt energy cleaning my room quickly, and he felt energy playing soccer with friends. Energy is excitement and action.
Finally, we have zest, which is a lively excitement or eagerness to enjoy life.
For example, I felt zest starting the new adventure, and she felt zest joining the school club. Zest makes experiences feel more fun and joyful.
Excitement and enthusiasm emotions are important because they help learners describe happy, motivated, or energetic feelings naturally in English.
Yes, Lisa. Using these words makes it easier to explain fun, anticipation, and eagerness in daily life.
Let's quickly review the words we covered: excitement, enthusiasm, thrill, eagerness, anticipation, joyfulness, exhilaration, delight, energy, and zest.
That's right. Remembering these 10 excitement and enthusiasm emotions will help learners describe energetic, happy, and motivated feelings clearly.
Hi, Jay. Let's explore fear and anxiety emotions. These are feelings we have when we are scared, worried, or unsure about something. And learning these words helps learners explain nervous or uneasy feelings in English.
Yes, Lisa, Fear and anxiety are important because they help people describe situations where they feel unsafe, stressed, or uncertain.
The first word is fear, which is a feeling of being afraid of danger or something bad happening.
For example, I felt fear walking alone at night, and she felt fear before her medical test. Fear often comes with a physical reaction, like a fast heartbeat.
Next is anxiety, which is a feeling of worry or nervousness about the future.
For example, I felt anxiety before the exam, and he felt anxiety about the job interview. Anxiety can make people feel tense and restless.
Another word is worry, which is thinking about problems or bad things that might happen.
For example, I felt
worry when my friend was late, and she felt worry about the storm coming. Worry often keeps people thinking about possible dangers.
Let's talk about nervousness, which is a feeling of being uneasy or tense, often before an event.
For example, I felt nervousness before my first presentation, and he felt nervousness meeting new people. Nervousness often shows in body language, like shaking or sweating.
Another emotion is apprehension, which is a feeling of fear or anxiety about the future.
For example, I felt apprehension before traveling to a new city, and she felt apprehension starting her new job. Apprehension is like careful worry mixed with fear.
Now we have panic, which is sudden and intense fear or anxiety.
For example, I felt panic seeing the alarm on, and he felt panic losing his wallet. Panic is urgent and can make people act quickly.
Another word is unease, which is a general feeling of discomfort or worry.
For example, I felt unease walking in the dark alley, and she felt unease during the difficult conversation. Unease is milder than panic, but still stressful.
Let's also talk about dread, which is a strong fear or worry about something that will happen.
For example, I felt dread before the dentist appointment, and he felt dread thinking about the upcoming exam. Dread can make people avoid thinking about what's coming.
Another emotion is tension, which is mental or emotional strain caused by stress or worry.
For example, I felt tension during the important meeting, and she felt tension waiting for the test results. Tension often makes muscles tight or people feel restless.
Finally, we have fright, which is a sudden feeling of fear, often caused by something surprising.
For example, I felt fright when the dog barked loudly, and she felt fright seeing a spider on the floor. Fright is sudden and often short-lived.
Fear and anxiety emotions are important because they help learners describe nervous, scared, or worried feelings naturally in English.
Yes, Lisa. Using these words makes it easier to explain fear or nervousness in different situations clearly.
Let's quickly review the words we covered: fear, anxiety, worry, nervousness, apprehension, panic, unease, dread, tension, and fright.
That's right, Lisa. Remembering these 10 fear and anxiety emotions will help learners describe situations where they feel scared or worried effectively.
Hi Jay, let's dive deeper into love and affection emotions. These feelings show how much we care about someone or something, and knowing these words helps learners express relationships clearly in English.
That's true, Lisa. Love and affection are really important because they connect people and show kindness, care, and deep feelings.
The first word is love, which is a deep feeling of strong care and attachment to someone or something. Love is one of the most powerful emotions.
For example, I feel love for my family, and she felt love for her pet dog. Love can be for people, animals, or even things we care about, like hobbies or favorite places.
Next is affection, which is a gentle feeling of liking and caring for someone. Affection is often shown in small actions like hugs, smiles, or kind words.
For example, he showed affection by hugging his sister, and I feel affection for my best friend. Affection is softer than love, but still very important in relationships.
Another word is fondness, which is a warm and tender liking for someone or something. Fondness is about enjoying someone's presence or feeling happy around them.
For example, I have fondness for my old teacher, and she felt fondness for her childhood home. Fondness shows gentle happiness and appreciation.
Let's talk about tenderness, which is a gentle and caring feeling we show towards someone we care about deeply.
For example, he showed tenderness by helping his little brother, and I felt tenderness when holding the baby. Tenderness is often quiet and soft, showing love without words.
Another emotion is compassion, which is feeling concern for someone who is suffering or in trouble. Compassion motivates us to help others.
For example, she felt compassion for the injured dog, and I felt compassion when I saw someone crying. Compassion is caring mixed with action.
Now we have warmth, which is a friendly, kind, and caring feeling towards someone. Warmth makes people feel comfortable and accepted.
For example, I felt warmth when my friend welcomed me, and she felt warmth from her family's support. Warmth can be shown through smiles, words, or even a friendly gesture.
Another word is adoration, which is a very strong feeling of love and respect. Adoration is often reserved for someone we admire or love deeply.
For example, he felt adoration for his grandmother, and I felt adoration seeing my favorite singer perform. Adoration combines love, respect, and admiration.
Let's also talk about devotion, which is a strong commitment and love towards someone or something. Devotion shows loyalty and dedication.
For example, she showed devotion to her students, and I feel devotion towards my family. Devotion means caring so much that you give your time and effort consistently.
Another emotion is attachment, which is a strong emotional bond with someone. Attachment makes people feel connected and safe with someone else.
For example, I have attachment to my childhood home, and she has attachment to her pet cat. Attachment often grows over time and makes separation difficult.
Finally, we have caring, which is the act of showing love, concern, and kindness to someone. Caring is about action, not just feeling.
For example, he is caring towards his friends, and I feel caring when helping others. Caring can be small acts like listening, helping, or showing support.
Love and affection emotions are very important because they help learners describe relationships, closeness, and kindness in English naturally.
Yes, Lisa. Using these words makes it easier to talk about feelings that bring people together and show genuine care.
Let's quickly review the words we covered: love, affection, fondness, tenderness, compassion, warmth, adoration, devotion, attachment, and caring.
That's right. Remembering these 10 love and affection emotions will help learners express deep feelings of care, love, and kindness clearly.
Hi, Jay. Now we're exploring surprise and curiosity emotions. These feelings often come when something unexpected happens or when we notice something new and interesting.
Yes, Lisa, these emotions help learners describe moments of astonishment, discovery, and curiosity in English.
The first word is surprise, which is the feeling you get when something unexpected happens.
For example, I felt surprise when my friends threw me a birthday party, and she felt surprise seeing a rainbow after the rain. Surprise can be positive or negative, but it's always unexpected.
Next is amazement, which is a strong feeling of surprise mixed with admiration or wonder.
For example, he felt amazement watching the magician's trick, and I felt amazement seeing the huge waterfall. Amazement usually happens when something is impressive or hard to believe.
Another word is shock, which is a very strong surprise, often sudden and sometimes unpleasant.
For example, I felt shock when I heard the news of the accident, and she felt shock seeing the broken vase. Shock can make people freeze or be unsure how to react.
Let's talk about curiosity, which is a strong desire to know or learn something new.
For example, I felt curiosity about how the stars shine, and she felt curiosity exploring the old library. Curiosity motivates learners to ask questions and discover new things.
Another emotion is intrigue, which is a feeling of being very interested or fascinated by something mysterious.
For example, he felt intrigued reading the detective story, and I felt intrigued watching the strange bird outside. Intrigue is often about mysteries or puzzles that grab our attention.
Now we have astonishment, which is a very strong feeling of surprise and amazement.
For example, I felt astonishment when I saw the giant sculpture, and she felt astonishment hearing the incredible news. Astonishment is stronger than regular surprise because it feels almost unbelievable.
Another emotion is wonder, which is a feeling of amazement and admiration, often for something beautiful or incredible.
For example, he felt wonder looking at the night sky, and I felt wonder watching the dolphins jump. Wonder is usually gentle and makes people feel curious and amazed at the same time.
Let's talk about bewilderment, which is a feeling of confusion mixed with surprise when something unexpected happens.
For example, I felt bewilderment when the directions were very complicated, and she felt bewilderment seeing the strange painting. Bewilderment happens when we are surprised but don't fully understand what is happening.
Another one is admiration, which is a feeling of respect and amazement for someone or something impressive.
For example, I felt admiration for the brave firefighter, and she felt admiration seeing the beautiful painting. Admiration is usually positive and inspires us to feel respect.
Finally, we have fascination, which is a strong interest or attraction to something that keeps our attention.
For example, he felt fascination learning about space, and I felt fascination watching the artist paint. Fascination keeps us curious and wanting to know more about something we like or find interesting.
Surprise and curiosity emotions are important because they help learners explain moments of discovery, amazement, or confusion in English naturally.
Yes, using these words makes it easier to describe experiences that grab our attention and make us wonder or explore.
Let's quickly review the words we covered: surprise, amazement, shock, curiosity, intrigue, astonishment, wonder, bewilderment, admiration, and fascination.
That's right. Remembering these 10 surprise and curiosity emotions will help learners describe unexpected events and interesting experiences clearly.
Hi, Jay. Now we're talking about fear and anxiety emotions. These feelings happen when we feel threatened, nervous, or worried. And knowing these words helps learners describe uncomfortable situations in English.
Yes, Lisa. These emotions are important because everyone feels afraid or anxious at times, and learning these words helps express those feelings clearly.
The first word is fear, which is a feeling of being scared or worried about danger or a problem.
For example, I felt fear when I saw a snake, and she felt fear walking alone at night. Fear helps us stay alert and safe.
Next is anxiety, which is a strong worry about something that might happen in the future.
For example, I felt anxiety before my school exam, and she felt anxiety waiting for the doctor's news. Anxiety can make our heart beat faster or make it hard to focus.
Another word is nervousness, which is a lighter form of anxiety, often before events like speaking or performing.
For example, he felt nervousness before giving a speech, and I felt nervousness on the first day at a new school. Nervousness is often temporary but noticeable.
Let's talk about dread, which is a strong feeling of fear or worry about something that is going to happen.
For example, I felt dread before the difficult exam, and she felt dread hearing the storm warning. Dread is usually about something we anticipate negatively.
Another emotion is panic, which is a sudden and strong fear that can make us act quickly without thinking.
For example, he felt panic when he lost his wallet, and I felt panic during the fire drill. Panic is more intense than fear and happens suddenly.
Now we have terror, which is an extreme form of fear, often overwhelming and frightening.
For example, I felt terror during the earthquake, and she felt terror when the dog barked loudly. Terror is so strong it can make people freeze or scream.
Another word is worry, which is thinking about problems or bad things that might happen.
For example, I felt worry about my friend being late, and she felt worry because her cat was missing. Worry is more about thinking than immediate fear.
Let's also talk about apprehension, which is a feeling of worry or fear about the future.
For example, I felt apprehension before meeting my teacher, and she felt apprehension starting her new job. Apprehension is often quiet but noticeable in thoughts and feelings.
Another emotion is insecurity, which is a feeling of not being safe, confident, or sure about something.
For example, he felt insecurity speaking in front of the class, and I felt insecurity about my new skills. Insecurity can affect confidence and self-esteem.
Finally, we have easiness, which is a mild feeling of discomfort, worry, or nervousness.
For example, I felt uneasiness walking through the dark alley, and she felt uneasiness before the exam results. Uneasiness is like a subtle warning that something might not be right.
Fear and anxiety emotions are important because they help learners explain nervous, worried, or unsafe situations clearly in English.
Yes, Lisa. Using these words makes it easier to describe moments when we feel unsure or threatened.
Let's quickly review the words we covered: fear, anxiety, nervousness, dread, panic, terror, worry, apprehension, insecurity, and uneasiness.
That's right. Remembering these 10 fear and anxiety emotions will help learners describe nervous and worried feelings naturally in English.
Hi, Jay. Now we're exploring sadness and loneliness emotions. These are feelings that happen when we are unhappy, miss someone, or feel alone. And knowing these words helps learners express these moments in English.
Absolutely, Lisa. These emotions are part of life, and learning to describe them helps learners express feelings clearly and connect with others.
The first word is sadness, which is a feeling of unhappiness or sorrow when something goes wrong.
For example, I felt sadness when my pet got sick, and she felt sadness leaving her hometown. Sadness helps us reflect on loss or difficult moments.
Next is loneliness, which is the feeling of being alone and missing company.
For example, he felt loneliness moving to a new city, and I felt loneliness sitting at home by myself. Loneliness often makes people crave connection.
Another word is grief, which is a deep sadness, usually after losing someone or something important.
For example, I felt grief when my grandmother passed away, and she felt grief losing her favorite toy. Grief is strong and often lasts longer than ordinary sadness.
Let's talk about sorrow, which is a deep feeling of sadness about something that happened.
For example,
He felt sorrow after failing the exam, and I felt sorrow hearing the bad news. Sorrow is a thoughtful, reflective sadness.
Another emotion is disappointment, which is the feeling when things don't go as we hoped.
For example, I felt disappointment when it rained on my picnic, and she felt disappointment not getting the job. Disappointment often mixes sadness with frustration.
Now we have gloom, which is a general feeling of sadness or unhappiness.
For example, he felt gloom on a rainy day, and I felt gloom thinking about my mistakes. Gloom is often quiet and makes things feel dull.
Another word is misery, which is extreme sadness or discomfort, often lasting longer.
For example, I felt misery being sick all week, and she felt misery losing her favorite book. Misery is stronger than sadness and affects both feelings and mood.
Let's also talk about heartache, which is a strong emotional pain, usually about love or loss.
For example, he felt heartache after the breakup, and I felt heartache missing my family. Heartache is a very personal and emotional form of sadness.
Another emotion is melancholy, which is a gentle, reflective sadness.
For example, I felt melancholy thinking about childhood memories, and she felt melancholy listening to old songs. Melancholy is soft and thoughtful rather than intense.
Finally, we have despair, which is a feeling of hopelessness or extreme sadness.
For example, he felt despair when he lost his job, and I felt despair after failing the test. Despair is very strong sadness where we might feel nothing will get better.
Sadness and loneliness emotions are important because they help learners express loss, unhappiness, or feeling alone naturally in English.
Yes, Lisa, using these words helps explain deep feelings and connects learners with others who understand these emotions.
Let's quickly review the words we covered: sadness, loneliness, grief, sorrow, disappointment, gloom, misery, heartache, melancholy, and despair.
That's right. Remembering these 10 sadness and loneliness emotions will help learners describe feelings of unhappiness or isolation clearly.
Hi, Jay. Let's explore happiness and joy emotions. These feelings happen when we are pleased, content, or excited about good things, and learning these words helps learners express positive moments in English.
Yes, Lisa. Happiness and joy are important because they help people describe fun, satisfaction, or positive experiences clearly.
The first word is joy, which is a strong feeling of happiness and delight.
For example, I felt joy when I passed the exam, and she felt joy seeing her friends again. Joy is usually intense and makes people feel light and energetic.
Next is happiness, which is a general feeling of being pleased or content.
For example, I felt happiness spending time with my family, and he felt happiness playing his favorite game. Happiness is a steady, everyday positive feeling.
Another word is delight, which is a strong feeling of pleasure and enjoyment.
For example, she felt delight tasting the chocolate cake, and I felt delight receiving a kind message. Delight often comes from small, enjoyable experiences.
Let's talk about cheerfulness, which is a feeling of being happy and optimistic.
For example, he showed cheerfulness while helping his classmates, and I felt cheerfulness during the sunny picnic. Cheerfulness can also be seen in our behavior and expressions.
Another emotion is bliss, which is a feeling of perfect happiness or extreme joy.
For example, I felt bliss lying on the beach, and she felt bliss during her wedding day. Bliss is deep happiness that makes people feel completely content.
Now we have contentment, which is a calm and peaceful feeling of satisfaction.
For example, he felt contentment finishing his homework, and I felt contentment relaxing in the garden. Contentment is quieter than joy, but still very positive.
Another word is pleasure, which is the feeling of enjoying something or feeling happy about it.
For example, I felt pleasure eating my favorite ice cream, and she felt pleasure listening to music. Pleasure often comes from specific activities or experiences.
Let's also talk about elation, which is a feeling of great happiness or excitement.
For example, he felt elation winning the prize, and I felt elation seeing the sunrise. Elation is like joy multiplied. It's intense and uplifting.
Another emotion is glee, which is a lively or playful happiness often shared with others.
For example, I felt glee playing with my little brother, and she felt glee seeing her friends laugh. Glee often shows excitement and energy.
Finally, we have jubilation, which is a feeling of great happiness or celebration.
For example, he felt jubilation after the team won the match, and I felt jubilation on the festival day. Jubilation is usually shared and often comes with cheering or celebration.
Happiness and joy emotions are important because they help learners describe positive feelings, fun moments, and satisfaction naturally in English.
Yes, Lisa. Using these words makes it easier to share happy experiences and positive emotions with others.
Let's quickly review the words we covered: joy, happiness, delight, cheerfulness, bliss, contentment, pleasure, elation, glee, and jubilation.
That's right. Remembering these 10 happiness and joy emotions will help learners describe positive feelings and joyful experiences clearly.
Hi, Jay. Today we're exploring anger and frustration emotions. These feelings happen when we are upset, annoyed, or feel that something is unfair.
Yes, Lisa. Learning these words helps learners explain negative emotions clearly in English without just saying, "I am mad."
The first word is anger, which is a strong feeling of being upset or annoyed about something wrong.
For example, I felt anger when someone lied to me, and she felt anger after the car scratched her bike. Anger can be sudden or build up over time.
Next is frustration, which is a feeling of being upset because something is difficult or not working.
For example, I felt frustration when I couldn't solve the puzzle, and he felt frustration waiting in a long line. Frustration often comes from obstacles or challenges.
Another word is annoyance, which is a mild irritation at something bothersome.
For example, I felt annoyance when the phone kept ringing, and she felt annoyance hearing loud music at night. Annoyance is usually smaller than anger, but still uncomfortable.
Now let's talk about irritation, which is similar to annoyance but can be stronger and last longer.
For example, he felt irritation when people talked loudly in the library, and I felt irritation when the computer froze. Irritation often makes us impatient or snappy.
Another emotion is rage, which is very strong anger, often uncontrolled.
For example, I felt rage when I saw the broken window, and she felt rage after being treated unfairly. Rage can make people feel explosive or aggressive.
Now we have resentment, which is a feeling of anger or bitterness about being treated unfairly.
For example, he felt resentment when his friend took credit for his work, and I felt resentment when my ideas were ignored. Resentment can last a long time if not addressed.
Another word is bitterness, which is a deep feeling of anger or unhappiness about a past event.
For example, I felt bitterness after losing the competition, and she felt bitterness thinking about her old friend's betrayal. Bitterness often mixes anger and sadness.
Let's also talk about exasperation, which is a strong feeling of irritation or frustration, often after repeated problems.
For example, I felt exasperation when the printer stopped working again. And he felt exasperation dealing with noisy neighbors. Exasperation shows both frustration and tiredness.
Another emotion is fury, which is extreme, intense anger.
For example, I felt fury when someone damaged my car. And she felt fury after hearing the unfair news. Fury is even stronger than rage and can feel overwhelming.
Finally, we have indignation, which is anger about something that seems unfair or wrong.
For example, he felt indignation when he saw the unfair rule, and I felt indignation hearing someone insult my friend. Indignation often comes with a sense of justice or moral wrong.
Anger and frustration emotions are important because they help learners explain being upset, irritated, or angry naturally in English.
Yes, Lisa. Using these words makes it easier to describe difficult situations without just saying, I am mad.
Let's quickly review the words we covered: anger, frustration, annoyance, irritation, rage, resentment, bitterness, exasperation, fury, and indignation.
That's right. Remembering these 10 anger and frustration emotions will help learners describe strong or mild negative feelings clearly.
Hi, Jay. Let's explore confidence and pride emotions. These feelings happen when we feel strong, capable, or proud. And learning these words helps learners express achievement and self-belief in English.
Yes, Lisa. Confidence and pride are important because they help people describe feeling capable, courageous, or successful.
The first word is confidence, which is a feeling of trust in your abilities or judgment.
For example, I felt confidence giving a speech, and she felt confidence solving the difficult problem. Confidence helps people try new things without fear.
Next is pride, which is a feeling of satisfaction in your own or someone else's achievements.
For example, I felt pride when I finished the project, and he felt pride seeing his child win the race. Pride is a positive, motivating emotion.
Another word is self-esteem, which is how much we value or respect ourselves.
For example, I felt self-esteem after helping my friend, and she felt self-esteem completing her first marathon. High self-esteem makes people feel capable and worthy.
Let's talk about courage, which is the feeling of bravery to face challenges or fear.
For example, I felt courage speaking in front of the class, and she felt courage trying a new sport. Courage helps people take risks even when nervous.
Another emotion is assurance, which is a feeling of certainty or confidence in yourself or others.
For example, I felt assurance giving my presentation, and he felt assurance knowing his team could win. Assurance helps people stay calm and focused.
Now we have determination, which is the feeling of being strong-willed and not giving up.
For example, I felt determination finishing the long race, and she felt determination learning a new language. Determination motivates people to reach goals.
Another word is satisfaction, which is a feeling of contentment after achieving something.
For example, I felt satisfaction finishing my homework, and he felt satisfaction cooking a delicious meal. Satisfaction is quiet pride and happiness together.
Let's also talk about empowerment, which is a feeling of being confident and in control.
For example, I felt empowerment leading the school project, and she felt empowerment standing up for herself. Empowerment gives people strength to act.
Another emotion is boldness, which is a feeling of bravery and willingness to take risks.
For example, I felt boldness trying a new adventure, and he felt boldness asking an important question. Boldness helps people step outside their comfort zone.
Finally, we have accomplishment, which is the feeling of pride after completing something difficult or important.
For example, I felt accomplishment finishing the marathon, and she felt accomplishment completing her first painting. Accomplishment mixes effort, success, and pride together.
Confidence and pride emotions are important because they help learners describe feeling capable, courageous, or successful in English.
Yes, Lisa. Using these words makes it easier to explain positive achievements, self-belief, and motivation naturally.
Let's quickly review the words we covered: confidence, pride, self-esteem, courage, assurance, determination, satisfaction, empowerment, boldness, and accomplishment.
That's right. Remembering these 10 confidence and pride emotions will help learners describe strong, positive feelings about themselves and others.
Hey Day, let's quickly go through all the emotions we learned so our viewers can remember them easily.
Yes, it's always good to have a quick review.
For love and affection, you can use words like love and affection to show strong care for someone, or fondness and tenderness for softer, gentle feelings.
And if you want to talk about respect and admiration, you can say adoration or devotion. And for kindness towards someone suffering, compassion works really well.
For excitement and enthusiasm, you can use excitement and thrill when something makes you super happy, or enthusiasm and eagerness when you're really motivated to do something.
If you are looking forward to something, say anticipation. And for fun, happy energy, you can use joyfulness, delight, exhilaration, or zest.
If you are looking forward to something, say anticipation. And for fun, happy energy, you can use joyfulness, delight, exhilaration, or zest.
If you are looking forward to something, say anticipation. And for fun, happy energy, you can use joyfulness, delight, exhilaration, or zest.
If you are looking forward to something, say anticipation. And for fun, happy energy, you can use joyfulness, delight, exhilaration, or zest. If you are looking forward to something, say anticipation. And for happy, fun energy, you can use joyfulness, delight, exhilaration, or zest. For fear and anxiety, you can use fear or fright when something scares you, and anxiety or worry when you feel nervous about the future.
And if it's a sudden feeling, panic works, while nervousness, apprehension, unease, dread, or tension can describe slower, ongoing stress.
For sadness and loneliness, you can use sadness or sorrow for general unhappiness, loneliness if you feel alone, and grief or heartache for deep emotional pain.
And for other sad feelings, try disappointment, gloom, melancholy, misery,
or despair.
For anger and frustration, use anger or rage for strong feelings, frustration or exasperation for mild irritation, and annoyance, irritation, fury, resentment, bitterness, or indignation, depending on the situation.
And for happiness and joy, words like joy, happiness, delight, or cheerfulness are great, and for more intense happiness, try bliss, elation, glee, jubilation, or contentment.
For confidence and pride, use confidence or self-esteem for self-assurance, pride or accomplishment for achievement, and courage, boldness, determination, empowerment, or assurance to show strength and motivation.
And for surprise and shock, words like surprise, astonishment, amazement, or wonder work for positive surprises, while shock, startle, bewilderment, stunned, or dismay can describe stronger or confusing reactions.
That's right. So now, if you want to talk about any feeling, you can pick the right word from this list. It's like having a toolbox for emotions in English.
Exactly. And the more you practice, the more natural it will feel when using these words in real conversations.
So remember, start with the words you like most, make your own sentences, and soon you'll be able to express your feelings. Wow, that was amazing, friends. We've learned so many emotion words today, from love and happiness to fear, excitement, and pride. Remember, learning English is not just about memorizing words. It's about using them in real life and expressing yourself naturally.
Yes, start practicing these words in your daily conversations. Write sentences and share your feelings with confidence. Every step you take makes your English stronger.
If you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to English with Lisa. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a new lesson. And leave a comment telling us which emotion word was your favorite today.
Keep practicing, keep smiling, and remember, learning English can be fun and easy if you enjoy every step.
See you in the next lesson. Bye for now, friends.